Nothemba is at a job interview, and the interviewer asked him, "So you don't mind or object for us to contact your previous employers just to make sure that you're going to fit in here?" "No, not at all," says Nothemba. "As long as you can also allow me to speak to your previous employees so that I can know why they left." Good evening and welcome. Shut up. Welcome to Fame and Fortune. And she must keep an eye on my links here. Just we need to mute her. I hope it's all good for you guys. Thank you very much for choosing us. I'm sorry, everything seems strange. I'm in a strange area. I've loaned a place where I'm doing the studio, so it's all makeshift. And I also suspect that my face is a little grainy. This laptop, I'm told, was made in 1642. So it may not be the best of the laptops for you to see me. But we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Let's Talk with Rams live. As you know by now, I'm also on Instagram, but you can't see my guests on Instagram. If you want to see them, go to YouTube or go to Facebook Live and Let's Talk with Rams. Please participate. Please send us questions. Please send us your comments on Facebook and also on Twitter. It's Talk with Rams 1 on Twitter. She's a South African television and radio presenter, anchor, producer, who has presented television series and radio shows. He's a seasoned broadcaster who has worked for most broadcasting platforms, both radio and television in South Africa in various capacities. Until 2013, she had been a project manager for local content programming on SABC3, previously project manager for the 2010 FIFA World Cup on SABC. She has been news and current affairs television anchor and producer on SABC, as well as presenter on other programs from documentaries, magazines, sport, music shows, as well as live broadcasts of national events. She is also a well sought out for various local and international events. MC for events and corporate events, government events, entertainment. Trust me, I could say much more. Most of all, she is known for popular and long-standing urban jazz experience on Metro FM, which distinguishes her as one of the most recognizable jazz aficionados in South Africa. Without a doubt, she is without equal. In my view, we can argue with other people later. This has put her by their own first name basis with people like Winton Marsalis. Believe it or not, this woman speaks to those guys like she's speaking to me, Gregory Porter, and our very own many jazz legends here. Well-traveled, well-respected, but most of all, she's my friend. I can say that without fear. She is my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest on Fame and Fortune, Nothemba Madumo. I've never called you by name and surname before. Hello.
Hi, and it sounds so strange when you say Nothemba Madumo. You know.
Wow. How are you, my friend?
I'm actually sitting where you normally sit when you come to my house.
You know, I was gonna say I hate COVID. It has taken away one thing that we do every year: converge at that place, play amazing music, make friends, and make conversations, and part without remembering most of ourselves.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm good, and I miss seeing you physically, I must say.
it's going to happen. We will be back soon. I'm not panicking. We will be back soon. Now let me say this. You have been around for a long time. Many people know you. But because you are the typical good people who play small when they're actually big. So when you're in a room, people may think, but we should know this person. We can't say exactly how we know her. How do you introduce yourself to strangers?
I don't. Hey, I normally I'm the shy one all the time, and
I know.
Shockingly, I'm very shy, but if I know that I need to make this conversation, I pray to my ancestors, give me the courage and the strength to not embarrass myself and make the conversation.
But would you recognize, do you see yourself as a radio person, or generally as a broadcaster, or someone in the media space? What is most comfortable to you?
I would say media, broadcaster, communications, because all those things are same thing,
In fact, I committed a crime. I forgot to tell people that, by the way, she's also an MD of her own company. And for me, it's very important because, jazz has become a business to you. It's no longer just a job, it's a business to you. And it's very important.
Yeah, the company is called Forever Jazz.
Forever Jazz, I know. And how is Forever Jazz?
Forever Jazz, as many other small businesses, are in limbo and waiting for a break for this past year, because Forever Jazz is into the arts and the entertainment. And that's an industry right at this moment, as we speak, is at the bottom of the barrel in this country.
Yeah. There was a time when the gig economy was on its knees. Now it's completely on its stomach. It's on its belly. It's down. It's out.
You have no idea. And the sad part is the fact that it's a business which a lot of people take so much for granted in terms of how they consume the products and the music or the entertainment that's provided, is taken so much for granted that you think music is always there, or you think, the arts or paintings or books or the theater or films and television are always there. So what's the problem? There's a little understanding of what it takes for those things to appear to be just there.
And then people make assumptions because you do these things, because they see you on stage when there's Joy of Jazz, they hear you on the radio every Sunday evening, they see you at an event doing something or another, and then they assume, man, she probably does not have enough vault at home to keep the money she makes.
Yeah. I wish I had even one vault, just one vault to just fill that vault, with money. It's one day at a time, and it's, sometimes when you do things that you love and you're passionate about, you do them because that's what wakes you up the next morning, rather than the paycheck.
But let's move COVID aside for a bit, just normal life before 2020. Was there enough paycheck to buy food, to put gas in the car, to put roof over the head, to pay for, a bottle of wine from time to time?
Well, there's enough, because everything depends on your level of what's enough. Whether do you want a 1,000 Rand bottle of wine, or do you want a 2-3 million Rand car, or do you want a 12 million Rand house, or do you want sushi? So everything is relative in terms of what's enough.
Do you get to, I ask everybody I interview on this question, do you get to save some money? And I'll tell you why I ask this question, because I want to give people context. That you could get a beautiful paycheck today for a great gig, and then nothing happens for 8 months. And so because you got a great gig, people think you should have signed a great check then. Yeah, sometimes you do get a good check. I mean, I know that. But then in between, nothing happens. And then do you get to say, this one I'll put aside even if I end up without bread.
It used to be possible when you know that you have, as much as we freelancers, and you have a contract that is long, like 3 or 5 years, or then you are able to then, you know, structure your life with that in mind. But if it's this is a gig for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, it's hard to do that, to save. It's hard, and it's getting even harder over the years to do that, unless, of course, you know, you get a big paycheck that then you can save. But it's hard to even get those these days.
What is the one investment? I'm hoping to hear from Freddie, our technical producer. I suspect that my screen is frozen, but he has not indicated that I'm frozen. So let me continue. What is the one investment that you have ever made that you felt good about in the past?
I can say it. And home is top of the chain for me. And investing in a home, because it's the place you go to when the world is hard out there. So investing in my home has been my biggest investment. I bought a house when I moved from Mafikeng, when I was living there working at Bob TV, and I moved to Joburg. I only stayed in a townhouse for 1 year. And thanks to the advice of my father, who said, you are not going to make somebody else pay off their bond. You are going to pay off your own bond. So when you finish this lease, that rent money is going into paying off your bond. And that was in 1997. And that's when I bought my second house, because even in Mafikeng, where I lived, I had bought that house as well. So it's just a way of thinking that was instilled in me by my father. So thank God I did that, because and even then the advice was not to also make sure that because it's such a shaky industry that you don't know whether you have a job tomorrow or next week or next year, that making sure that whatever happens to me, the home remains. That's why it's not even in my name, it's in a trust, to make sure that, my son, my family will have a home, whether I have a job or not. You know what I mean?
You know I don't have a sense of humor. So the next question is not a joke. It's a very serious question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been broke?
Once a year, every time. It's not a joke. A lot of times, yes, absolutely. You know how this industry works. You don't know what tomorrow brings. But and it's very difficult to plan ahead as much as some people are able to. Well done to them. You can plan, but the road curves every time. But it just also just builds you, in this industry to know that, okay, this is what I'm going through now. I will do what it takes to overcome it. Some people can't take it, some people, it builds them, this experience. But it's just made me stronger and more determined, and you just work even harder, and you learn, how next time when this situation hits you from the last experience, this is how best to handle it. You know.
Now I know from something you said earlier that I know that fame and fortune are not related. You can be famous without fortune. But why is it so much so in this country than other countries? I mean, I'm sure you've seen your contemporaries in other countries who do what you do, and the industry takes care of them. Why is it in this country the industry does not take care of Nothemba?
That the industry doesn't
take care of you, doesn't make sure that you end up well on the other side when you one day say to guys, been there, done there, they gotta go. Factories.
Because I don't think the industry is there for you. It's you. They're there for what you can do for them. You know. And this fame and fortune thing, like for instance, the fame thing is obviously something that just came up in the last 15, 20 years. When I started out in this industry, people knew me for the work, not for the fame. So, and I think the exposure to media and what fame is in the Hollywoods and elsewhere around the world, people started seeing people working in broadcasting on the media a little differently, like they were these superhuman, absolutely special beings that live this lush, luxurious lives because that's what they see on TV, they see on the net and that. So, which is here in this country it's not necessarily so because we don't have the same kind of history and built to that industry. And also we don't earn the kind of money and the industry does not support and protect the industry like it does in other countries. So it's an idea, dream, and an illusion, that some people don't see it for what it is, and find themselves in corners because they want to live up to this illusion of a life.
Which is sad, by the way. So tell me, the last 20 minutes I've been talking to you.
Yeah.
In spite of, by the way, I need to tell our viewers this. This woman was agonizing the whole day about how she can speak about financial education. And what has she done the last 20 minutes? She's given us amazing nuggets on financial education. So you have been very amazing, by the way, because you thought I would ask you textbook questions. I don't do textbook questions.
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to ask me about the graphs of what's the rand to the dollar in the last 5 years and how it is.
Don't do that nonsense. That's why I was fired elsewhere. Let's not go there. so here's my question there. With all the wisdom that you have of financial literacy and how to take care of the little that you make, I'm sure, like all of us, you still have an extravagance. You still have this one thing that you spend money on. Even when money is tight, you're like, gotta spoil myself on this one. What is this one thing that you always spoil yourself with?
You know what, Rams? I learned a lesson long ago that if I can't afford it, I can't have it. Meaning I can't afford it. In other words, I am not going to go rob a bank or take a loan just because I want it, kind of thing. It's like, for instance, the cars that I've had forever. The car I'm driving now, I bought it in 2008 and I love it. It's still working. Why must I get another? Yeah. It's just a machine that must get me to where I want to go. So I decided that if I have a bit of money to spare, I'm going to spend it on me and me being on something that no one can take away from me. And that is why experiences, they can strip you naked. They can never strip you of what you have experienced, what you feel, and what you love. So, my experiences is I save, I go to my jazz cruises, to the jazz festivals, I go on holiday, I love the sun, the sea, and the sand. I go and make sure I go and see the sun and the sea and the sand. No one can take that experience from me. So it's money well.
And I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen you go to those jazz festivals that all of us have put in the bucket list, but we never did anything to go to them. And seen even podcast from there, and it's been amazing. And on that note, because you've done those things, would you say, when you look back on your life, would you say, I've made it?
Would I say?
I have made it.
No, I've just begun. Are you crazy? I have just begun. I have not made it.
So this is just the beginning.
This is watch the space, Rams.
There's a comment here I need to read for you.
Yeah.
Or two. Khomotso says, good evening, the Rams, and Skoko suggests is Nothemba. And Sipati says, good evening, Rams. How's Nothemba looking beautiful as ever? She is completely ageless. I have known this woman for almost 30 years now, and she's always been this ageless. And yeah, she says in the beginning, so you ain't seen nothing yet. She's still going to get it much better than this. So what's going to tell you that you've made it? If you think what you've done now does not tell you you've made it, what is one thing that you're going to do and think, now I have made it?
Do you know, as a little girl, I used to dream, believe me or not, I would be in a small little jazz club. The stage was in the center. There was a piano. I was playing and I was singing. And there were probably about 20 people. I still want to do that. So,
wow.
My next investment is a piano.
So this place you'll be playing at will be mine, because my dream has always been owning this small little jazz place that only takes maximum 30 people.
We're gonna
make it better.
There you go. I told you, watch the space. See, you're in the space already.
And by the way, I even have the name of this place. I've dreamt of this place all my life. It even has a name. It's the Black and Blues. I've always called it the Black and Blues, and it's gonna have
Black and Blues. Why is it too close to what I want to call mine? I won't tell you what.
Mine is out there, so nobody can steal it anymore. You guys are my witnesses. Nobody can steal the Black and Blues. It's my idea. One last question then.
Yes, sir.
I know you've lamented that the industry does not take care of people. I know all the stories, and I agree with you because I know it. I've been in the industry myself. But you have done a lot of work. You have rubbed shoulders with amazing people. You've been on our screens and on our wireless for many years. You've been on stages presenting some of the amazing stars of the world. So you have earned a few checks before. When you put them together, and I don't care what you've done with them, you could have lost them in the sea or in the sand or with the sun, or you could have invested them in your trust. But when you put them together, would you say that you have crossed over the years a measly $1 million US?
Yeah. I can't even say, because it wouldn't get even to 100,000 before it is spent for me to even know what would it accumulate to that. Probably, over the years, considering how long I have been working, it could have but like you say, it doesn't last. It doesn't stay long enough for it to even get those zeros up to 6 in one particular moment.
So I'm done with my questions. I want to conclude this conversation.
Sure.
And say that there are two things that have been constant in my life and in the women who've entered my life. It has been jazz and golf. And where jazz is involved, they know the other woman in my life, which is you. So you are a constant that they know that I would like, everything must keep quiet at 9 p.m. because I have to listen to you. And for that, I thank you for the work that you do. And I'm sure I speak for a lot of people for what you do for us. You're amazing. You're a great friend. You're an amazing broadcaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Rams. And I used to play golf, but then I don't earn the kind of bucks you earn, so I can't afford it anymore. So, but I know you listen to the show, which of course you've hosted when I've been away on those chasing my dreams, and I miss that, and I miss, as I said earlier, connecting with you as one of the great friends that I have, not only in the industry and outside of the industry. And I want to tell you that you are appreciated and loved by me all the time. I'm always looking out for you and wishing you all the best in all your endeavors. And you are kicking ass, as you always do, my brother.
Thank you so much. And from your mouth to God's ears, I believe this is just the beginning of your beginning. The great is yet to come.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, and thank you so much for tonight.
Yes, and bring that bottle of wine when you come. Ne?
You know that's a standard. You know that's a standard. It's going to come. It's going to come.
All right, Rams.
Thank you so much, Nothemba. Love you.
Love you too. Bye, my dear.
And folks, tomorrow is Opportunity Tuesday. There is an amazing opportunity we're going to present to you. You don't want to miss it. These guys are a financial institution, and they say that they can do for you what no bank can do for you. They can give you money that you thought you had no access to. They can get you to build the house that you dreamt about or start the business that you wanted to start. The money that you never ever get from a bank. You don't want to miss it. And of course, there's Dr. Thandisibanda when we finish that conversation. So do not miss it right here on Talk with Rams Live. And for me, and the infant terrible Freddie, he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy, but Freddie's a good guy. Good night and God bless.